question is, where did everything come from? Okay, so this is a micrometer. When you're looking at symbolism, that's a micrometer. So you get the U and the I and the M. The M's water, right? But that's a micrometer. That is so little tiny that you can't even see it. But this is Earth. So volts and a volt make a watt. So these are microvolts and watts. Okay? Two V's make a W. So anyways, this is being created on Earth. This is being created in the air. This becomes an M. Okay? So the micrometer, this is a number that's going to increase when it comes up there. But because that's that, up here, it's going to be an H. Alright? So, that's going to be an M. See, they're reversed from each other. So this is nothing. This is what's been created. But, okay. This is an I. That's one. That's God. That's a current or an amp. We're talking about the Aleph, bet, water, and a sound. But that's going to create a volt and a watt. The other thing is put all your words in houses. If it starts with an L, put it in the house. I'm going to be talking about light, law, and literature. Aleph, alpha, A, which is one. But yeah, put them in houses. All your words that start with A, all your words that start with L, whatever letter it is. E, ear, esquire, energy. So now you got your words in houses, all right? So let's see. We're talking, and Z is a divide, okay? Because you got this 0, right? This is the symbol for air and earth, all right? And they're divided. That makes a Z, okay? So we're talking about a divided energy and a desire of God. This is ground zero of the divide. This is God. All right, and everything comes from God. A ground zero and a divide. This is ground zero and a divide. All right. Now see how all my letters have meaning and they're giving what I'm saying meaning. All right, so. And it's a divide because this is +1 and this is -1. Below 0 is -1, above 0 is +1. Or divide. Alright? Now a dog is divide, God, and the ground. That's a divide, God, and the ground. It's a snake eating his tail. Alright, that's a dog. And then, let's see. Yeah, we did that, you know that. Alright. Now, this is a symbol for fire and water. Alright, and I got hydrogen, which is water, hydrogeneration, water generation. And this is a sun, or a sound. A sound united with a number. Where this is the house, of three things divided: the rush of God, the ground, the energy, and the number, because we're going to end up with the number. And that's what we're looking for. And then you got the womb of the Aleph Bet, beginning and end. It begins again. The energy and the desire. Lose your language, you lose your nation. Nobody can communicate. Alright? So, anyways, these are the symbols for fire and water. This is the symbol for air, and this is the symbol for earth, the lines in it. Alright? And we're talking about a divided ion. Okay? I'm going to turn you on with the spark of the divide. Pretty good, huh? Now, yeah, let's get rid of it. Okay. So now, we know this, your eye generates, it takes in light, creates a spark, sends it to your brain takes in that spark, creates a spark, sends that to your mouth. Or something comes in through your ear, and you hear it, that makes a spark, sends it to your brain, and then your brain sends it to your mouth. Okay? So you got the womb, that's your brain, and your mouth needs air to speak. Alright? But that's how an eye works. That's an eye. This is current. Alright? This is C equals light, united with desire. Desire, energy, and number, beginning and end, begins again. Alright? The Aleph Bet, the water, and the sound, because we're learning our sounds and our symbols. Our sounds and symbols. Alright? Our water, the Aleph Bet, sounds and symbols. But this could be anything that starts with an S or an A, but it depends what you're talking about. So we're talking about the energy of the Aleph Bet, the desire. Rush is desire. I don't want to do that. I want to do this, that. That's desire. So the energy of the Aleph Bet, the desire, the beginning and end begins again, because this is time. It's house. Alright? This is the Aleph Bet, the spark, and the desire. Alright? So, now, we know what that is. Boom, 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 boom. So, the divided ion. This is the divided spark of God and a number right here. Now, alright. That's what you're looking at. Alright, now this is a proton. Now, you've seen God here with the divide, the dog. Alright. Or is it the God and the number? See, 1 through 10, it begins again. V is half, that's 5 of 10. Alright? So, anyways, this is a 0 and a 1, binary code. That makes the P, and that makes the sound. Because that is phonics. pH is the presence of hydrogen, the spark, and the light. Alright, that's easy. But we're using the sound to turn you on with the spark and the light. We're making a number 1. Alright, now how's this made? Check this out. The P is a proton. Alright, so you got a proton and an electron. This is the proton. This goes between 100 and 800 megahertz. That's the water's house divided. Okay? Now, we're talking natural numbers. That's the M. That's why it means water. 8 is 2 oxygen. Alright, so you end up with a butterfly. Aleph is God, A. That's God. B's his house. Makes a butterfly. But anyways. Yeah, we're looking 100 to 800 megahertz. The water house divided. You know the 8 makes that. 8's a lazy 8. That makes oxygen. 8's on the periodic table is oxygen. And this, if I take that 1 and I put that there, that looks like an H. Symbolism. Okay, but we're dealing with this right here. This is a proton. 100 to 800 megahertz. And it's flying around. Right? And then you got an electron. This one's positive. This one's negative. Okay, so we got a proton and electron. The electron's negative, the proton's positive. They're flying around. Alright? So you got this proton and electron. They're flying around. What's keeping them together? Because that megahertz is the frequency. What's keeping them together is the 0. It's a Po. Alright? But what that's telling you is God is keeping that proton and that electron together. That's a frequency. Alright? Even 0's got a frequency. But that's the negative energy, and it's keeping them two together. Po in Sumerian means summer. Sound united with water. The water energy rush. Alright? That makes fire or light. 2 hydrogen atoms come together, there's a spark, a loss of mass, that's called fusion. Right? You end up with the sun. So, alright, so we got that. Now we know what a Po is. That's summer. We know what we're creating. This is a double barred cross made in I. Alright? That's the spark. But he made an eye. God spoke in existence because these are 2 gods in a divide. Makes an N. That's actually an A in Hebrew. Alright? So God spoke in existence, the I and the N. Takes 3 things to make something. Put God in there, and a spark. You all see an I. Ion. And that's divided. You end up with two eyes in your brain. Okay? That's 2 eyes divided. Here. The house, that's God's house. Natural numbers of the eyes. By eyes, the opposing, these are eyes. By eyes, the opposing eyes. House of the eyes. That's what we're talking about. Okay? So now, let's see, we want to understand the ground zero of the divide. That's ground, the desire of God, united with the number and a divide. Okay? And that's God. Then you got a divide, a spark, a birth of a spark, a divide of an energy. That's what's going on here. You got a divide of a spark, that's 1. Birth of a spark, and the divide of an energy, positive and negative. Alright? See how that works? So now we did the ground. Alright, we got an electron. Alright? That's the energy, the light, and the energy. You can say that's Christ, a child. Beginning and end begins the end, the desire of God in number. It's a child's beginning and end, desired and understand a number. So what that's telling you. And now you got here, let's see. E equals megahertz, and it depends. The divide of the energy, the sound of the energy, and the numbers divides sound. It's a divided sound that looks like an H that makes the symbol of the H. It comes from the A, which makes the positive 1. The A and the 1 are together. That makes water, which is the word of God. It's God, number, and an energy. Alright? And you got God and a number. The water of the Aleph, bets, the sounds, and the symbols. Makes all that. So now we know that's a proton, that's one of them, that's the electron, and how they come together. Then you got the Aleph, bet, the spark, and the desire, because that's how you breathe. And you got the numbers, the sounds, my womb, my mouth, my energy. That's the flow that it goes. Okay? So, and what else did it do? I think I discussed everything on here, but that's where we all come from, was a little tiny dot, which is a micrometer, which is an upside down H, which is actually an N, and an I upside down together. God spoke in existence. So let's look at that. So P is phonics, spoke in existence. That's pi. Pi is the circle. N, a number, and an energy. Okay? So, God spoke in existence, number and an energy from pi. Alright? And then you got the P up here. Right, so he spoke in existence, so you got that, and that made that, that's a cone. You're a child learning to be the light. Child 1. It's Christ, God, a number, and an energy. So, now you know, now you've been in God's house. The Aleph bet. You understanding how it works? Every letter's in a house. You use the words in that house that are saying what you're saying, and you can explain things. Alright? So, yeah, you understand the ancient symbols and all that. I don't know what else could I do here. You understand that? Oh, this pine cone. Sumerian guy at the Tower of Babel, he's holding the pine cone. Tammuz, I think is his name. Yeah, we just had July 9th was Tammuz. But anyways, he's holding the pine cone. They also got a pine cone at the Vatican. You know, but see, A and B is Father. A and B, that's Father. And A and M, that's Mother. So the Aleph, Bet, and Water is your mother. This one made you into flesh, and this one made you into mind. That's why I say the spark of God and water. Alright? Now, let's see. This is God's house. This is the natural numbers, 1 through 9 on the periodic table. 10 it begins again. So, what, 9's fluorine. Alright? And let's see. Alright. On the first day, God said, "Let there be light." He saw the depth, and his face was upon the water. If nothing was created yet, how is his face upon the water? That's because hydrogen is water. His face was upon the hydrogen. And then on the second day, he created the firmament. When a hydrogen atom gets an extra proton, that becomes helium, floats up into the exosphere, makes a protective layer that protects us from meteors and asteroids. So then you got the third day, he created dry land. That's lithium, dry cell battery. You got what, beryllium and boron. You work out the words, they tell you what they are. Your carbon-6 on the periodic table. And on the seventh day, nitrogen, God rested. And then on the eighth day, God had not made it rain upon the earth. You need oxygen to make it rain on the earth. That's oxygen. Has to have a hydrogen atom. That's H2O, the house of two gods. That's where we're at. You got God and you, the house of two gods. That's hydrogen, water, fire. Yeah, you got water, you need air to make fire. Let's see. The water of the Aleph Bet, beginning and end, begins again. The house, the energy, and the rush. That's your mother. Yep, father. This is on earth. That's a female. The Aleph Bet, beginning and end, begins again. The house of the earth, God's desire. I think I about covered it. Now you know the word of God. Now you can find stuff whenever you're looking for something. Yeah, you have a good day.